exceedingly small. And this is a case of that. The Oakland Police Department has been under investigation forever. They have a DOJ, whatever agreement, and just last year, after several years of this agreement, they did something else, and the DOJ was back there. So how long? Oakland has a history from the 1950s of abusing black people. So here we are in 2015, and there they go again. San Francisco, my hometown, is supposed to be relatively liberal. Scott, they just found sheriff's deputies taking the brothers in jail, and just like slavery, having them fight each other. Putting bets on who was going to win. Now, this is liberal San Francisco that has never had a DOJ probe, and the mayor has still not requested one. So these probes, while they may come up with some information, I am not hopeful that they will cause significant and even swift change. I won't say immediate, but even swift change.
DayVon, let me just say, are they ceremonial? Are they really just, let's make everybody feel a little better? Listen, I think the mayor in Baltimore is doing a great job of making us all feel a lot better. But in the end, is it just to do this, to say, well, we've done it, but will anything change?
Well, who is she making feel better? You feel better, brother?
Well, not at all. I mean,
well, okay,
one of the problems
I mean, the words, the healing words.
I mean, a lot of people on the ground feel, like you said, that the DOJ investigation is really ceremonial. And a part of the problem is that, we understand we live in a society that attaches criminality to people of African descent. And so what we find people on the ground whose experiences are demonstrative of the fact that we live in a society where people are socialized to interact with people of color, particularly African descendant people, as criminals. And so what you're finding is that this issue now has gained national, coverage. And a part of the problem is that we have elected officials, particularly our mayor, and many other elected officials who were silent on this issue when it wasn't in the mainstream media, right? And so, I mean,
when it wasn't caught on video.
Exactly.
But, I mean, it's been happening, but it only goes mainstream when it's caught on video.
Right. And the findings of the investigation will only help, only in as far as the information can help with dealing with some of the state legislation that I think is necessary to address some of the systemic issues. But apart from that, the community sees this as just another attempt to put a Band-Aid on a systemic problem.
But Mo, if I may, very quickly, this investigation and the settlement agreement that we anticipate comes with a court monitor and the DOJ's ability to go and enforce those changes if they're not made quickly enough. I think that's a difference, because the key to any agreement is implementation, and the monitor, the independent monitor, has to be strong and effective.
What is quick?
And
Would
you
you put a timeline on? You're the lawyer, so you got it. What is the timeline on how you define quickly?
Yes.
I mean, but see, that's not how DOJ. That's not how these monitors define it.
This is what we're left with, and this is the best we got, because beyond DOJ,
that's it. No, the best we got is not good enough, and this is why young people like this brother are out there making a better Baltimore, making better. This is why young people have taken it to the streets, because they basically have no patience with something that says it's going to take a while. It's not going to be immediate. They're getting their behinds beat immediately.
They're being put in jail immediately. But let's talk about go ahead,
and I was going to say, a part of the issue is that the way that law enforcement is administered is one that doesn't require the community to have any substantive input on the way law enforcement is administered. And so, for instance, the police trial boards to determine disciplinary action on law enforcement officials is made up of other law enforcement officials. And so the key isn't so much oversight from the government as much as it is having the policies in place that allow the community to have a hand in seeing how policing is administered.
But you can't act on these problems unless you have the information, the data, and then you implement the changes.
What more data would you need to have to see that? Let's just take, for example, the amount of money that has been given out in settlements. If you go to police departments across the country and you say, okay, there is going to be a threshold amount of settlements that are going to trigger automatically a DOJ investigation, right? People will not get settlements.
I tell you what.
People will not get settlements. That's right. How many people have not gotten settlements? I mean, the people who got settlements have had great lawyers like Brother Bolden here. They have been...
Or it has been so egregious that they've had to pay them to go away and be quiet.
But all were free to do so. Listen, you don't have any alternative right now. What's your alternative to immediate grievance relief or to immediate changes in the police department, other than the DOJ probe, the monitor, and getting the data? For example, in Ferguson, you wouldn't have had those emails that were just blatant, outright racist emails had DOJ not gone in and done the
Well, some
investigation.
immediate reviews would be some independent investigations. Some everybody voting and
You
making
have it
sure
with
that
DOJ.
people are not in
You have it
place.
with DOJ.
No,
That's
I-
not
Most of
local
these cities do
government.
not
No,
have.
they-
Most of
feds
these
are
cities do not
independent.
have police
That-
review
at the
boards
local
that include
level.
They should.
citizens.
At the local
Many
level.
of these cities,
And
that's
on these
not.
cases-
And when they
in
do,
these
they
Waiting
often
for the
have.
DOJ to enter
They
is
also have very
not a
limited.
quick process.
Police review boards
This
have very
government-
limited subpoena power.
What you talking
They're
about
not
the
able to
Department of
do
Justice
anything.
stuff?
But
They're
I'm
there
saying,
now. They're in there right now. They didn't
Scott,
wait.
I have no confidence in this. I have no confidence in it at all.
That's
And
to
I
say
think
that they
don't
will
have any
cure
business in the
everything, and they will.
relevant
No,
to
it's not about
with
her.
independent
It's about the whole
That what you always
system.
saying now?
No,
You
it's
saying
We're
now?
not saying it's about her. We're saying we've seen
Scott,
independent
and it's
probes
about resources.
seen there.
Exactly.
Done
DOJ
that.
is bringing all of their resources.
And what did that do?
Oh
Oakland?
wow,
What
we're
has it
going
done
to
in
talk about this
Cleveland?
more. As you
Come
see,
on.
we have a lot to say.